Hello everybody, Dani Filth again on this channel as a guest, I think for the second time. How are you, Dani? All good?
I'm very well, thank you.
Yeah, because Cradle of Filth are beginning the tour on February 12 in Gdańsk, Poland, actually. And there are also shows in Warsaw and Kraków on 22nd and 23rd of February. And how excited are you, Dani, for these shows in Poland and the whole tour that is actually selling out very quickly, as I saw recently?
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to get the ticket sales again today. I think there's going to be a couple more close to sold out. I'm very, very, very excited about it. It's a long time since we've done an Eastern European, and I'm sorry to just lump everybody into just being Eastern European. I don't mean that at all, but just geographically, that part of the world, and in a tour bus as well. So we're going to be going from Poland to the Baltics, Finland, all the way to Turkey, Greece, Romania area, etc., etc.
Yeah.
End up in the Czech Republic and Slovakia. So it's going to be. We're going to see some amazing places. We're going to be on a bus with Wednesday 13, a huge bus. Yeah. We've toured with them before, get on very well with them. Of course, they're doing the Murder Doll stuff, so everything's going to have that kind of early 2000s vibe about the tour. Got some very eclectic bands with Sick and Beautiful and Drift as well, so it's going to be very visual, very exciting. We're going to be supporting Existence is Futile, but we're going to be playing songs from throughout our whole back canon as well. So, yeah, I mean, other than it's going to be quite cold, which is the down point, the rest of the tour, very, very excited about.
All right. Your last time in Poland, it was, I think, 2019 or something like that. I don't know if you remember. But
Yeah, absolutely. Pre-pandemic.
Yeah. So... I don't know exactly how many shows you played in Poland, but I think a lot of them. Any special memories about playing in Poland in the past?
Yes, but most of the time, and I don't drink now, by the way. I've been non-alcoholic for over a year.
Okay.
But most of the times I've been to Poland, everybody's so lovely and welcoming. I'd always end up getting really drunk with people and then not remembering anything about the night. But I love the summer in Poland. There's a great venue where there's a last time we were there, there's a graveyard not far. It's like the opposites. You go across from a bus station and there's this massive graveyard. And there was this big festival of flowers. And everywhere, all these amazing... very gothic, very Victorian era looking graves, covered, absolutely festooned with flowers everywhere. It was absolutely amazing. I couldn't believe how lovely it was. In the past, first time we ever came to Poland, we played the show. I can't remember where, don't ask me. And it was at this nightclub. And it was like on the top floor. And I remember people watching us from the stairs as well. And there was nowhere to go for the encore. So we went out on the roof. There was a door and you went out on the roof. And it was fucking freezing. There was like snow everywhere. And the door shut and blew shut. And we were just stuck outside on this fucking roof after the gig. And eventually we managed to literally climb down a ladder, but we were just in our stage gear and it was wet from sweat and it was like -20 out. And by the time we managed to hammer at the window of the dressing room, we were literally frozen to the bone. I'll never forget that. It was fucking ridiculous. But yeah, mostly great memories.
All right. Great memories. Thank you for that, Dani. Let's talk about maybe the new album, because in a recent interview some times ago, you were telling something that it's in the works, maybe. So what about the new Cradle studio album? When can we expect that to be released?
Well, strangely enough, I begin my vocals tomorrow.
Okay.
We started back in July, but we've been so busy. We've done loads of summer festivals, and we had our annual, break for holidays for everybody. Then we were away. Then we did a couple of weeks. So we've done all the music. Then we were away. Then I was away for 12 weeks on recording in LA. The Cradle were playing in South America, and then we did a full American tour with co-headline with Devil Driver.
Mm-hmm.
That was the second part of that. Then I did a couple more weeks in the studio, getting some ideas down, getting everything ready to sing. And then the producer had a baby. So we haven't actually been back since November. And then obviously we're only going to be doing a couple of weeks because then we go out on the road. So the album's going to take a bit longer than usual because we're doing a lot of touring as well. But we're hoping to release it by the end of the year. Okay. It's going to be a big record for us. Very excited about it. But at the moment, it's in development stage. So we're being very creative. I'm staying at home. Just got back from France last week where I was visiting with my girlfriend for New Year's. Mm. And now I'm just alone in my fortress of solitude at home, getting all creative and getting all prepared for the album and the tour.
All right. But what could we expect in the way of sound about this record? Classic Cradle of Filth, or maybe there will be some surprises, I would say?
Well, one of the surprises, obviously, well, it's not so much a surprise, is that we've got a song that we have Ed Sheeran guesting on.
Okay, so it's going to be on the album?
Yeah, it's going to be on the album.
Okay.
And people have heard it and loved it. But it is what you imagine. It's Cradle of Filth and it's Ed Sheeran. It sounds like Ed Sheeran. It sounds like Cradle of Filth. There's a blast beat in it. I think it's going to surprise a lot of people, the album. But it doesn't necessarily mean the album is commercial. It's a very heavy record. Mm-hmm. We've just upped the game as a band. We moved one step further toward the future from our previous record. We see everything as an evolution, everything as a evolutionary step, everything is a necessary link in the chain. And this album's going to be an important record for us, our first for Napalm Records, if you discount, obviously, the live record. But yeah, we're very much looking forward to this year. And there's no rush. We've got plenty of shows. But expect the first single probably about September, October time.
Okay, great. Talking about Ed Sheeran, he actually took a little step, I would say, into the rock and metal scene by recording his Bad Habits in the rock version with Bring Me the Horizon, and that you also collaborated with in Wonderful Life song. So have you heard this rock version of Bad Habits, and what do you think about that?
I did hear it, yeah. They decided to do that after we started working, because we actually did the song with Ed over a year ago now. Mm-hmm. And before then, the idea happened off the back of Bad Habits, the album. So it's been about two and a half years, and it's probably going to be 3.5 years before anybody actually hears the song. Yeah. But it is what it is, you know. Obviously, he's one of the biggest artists in the world, and we have to kind of obey and abide by his rules, because he's a lovely guy, don't get me wrong, but his management obviously have his vested interest at heart. And I think this year he's taken a complete year off. Mm-hmm. And obviously we want him in the video. So if that's going to happen, we have to release that single with him on next year. But that's not going to affect the rest of the album. And yeah, we're in a good position as a band, you know. We picked a lot of good places to play this year in advance. So we've got a very packed year on the live front. We're going to finish the album off in our own time. It's going to be big. It's going to be bold. It's going to be brash. I hope fans are going to enjoy it. And then we move on.
Great. Yeah, because you guys are playing a big European tour really soon, of course, but Cradle of Filth logo, I would say, is also on the biggest metal festivals posters. Metal festivals happening this year, like Hellfest, Wacken, or Copenhagen. So I'm curious which one of these, I would say, classic festivals is your favorite one?
That's really hard. I don't particularly have a favourite because from year to year we have different experiences. They're all really good, and we all really enjoy them, especially coming back after the hiatus that was the pandemic. I think everything is slightly more sugar-coated, you know, because you're enjoying, you know, you're very appreciative of the fact you're out there again and you're playing these festivals, because there was a period of time where everybody was like, fuck, is that it? You know? Yeah. Are we going to be able to play live again? And if we are, how long is that going to be? So very appreciative of playing any of them. But yeah, the ones you've mentioned, all three of them are amazing. As I said, we're very lucky in respect that between us and our booking agent, we get to choose what we want to do. And we picked some really fucking good festivals this year.
Yeah, great. The biggest ones on the metal scene. Danny, please tell me, is it harder or easier to run the band like Cradle of Filth now, comparing to the times before social media, streaming platforms, and stuff like that? What do you think?
It's easier to run it, I suppose. I mean, we've got this amazing management company, which is basically Des from Devil Driver and his wife, Anastasia, who've done an amazing job. We've got amazing people all around the band. So that's the fact that it's taken a while to get to that stage where we work with really good people all the time. But I think we've always worked with really good people, always worked with great artists, great photographers, great studio engineers. Admittedly, I think it was more fun back in the day because it was more mysterious. Like, everything's so immediate now. Like, if I want to find the most obscure band, you know, like from London or from Poland or from Czechoslovakia, I can just Google it and I have all their info and I'll have all their music right now. Yeah. Back in the to tape trade, you know, everything would have a mystery about it. You didn't know who these people were. Most of the time you read about them in fanzines or sort of black and white photos. So it had an aura of magic about it as well. And I think people were more appreciative of music because it was so much harder to get hold of it. This scene was much more underground when we first started. And the likes of Behemoth and Emperor and we're in fact in Flames and, you know, most of the extreme bands came from that era.
Yeah, because you told about the mystery, I would say, side of that. Now all these bands like Cradle of Filth, Behemoth, and all these bands have their social media, so it's maybe a little bit less mysterious than in the past, but it was probably a really important thing about especially metal bands. I want to ask you how important for you is the visual side of creating music, album artwork, t-shirts, videos, because it all was, I would say, so consistent, I feel, if we talk about Cradle of Filth.
Well, yeah, I think everything's important. Every medium or media that surrounds the band, be it artwork, merchandise, videos, lyrics, music production, presentation, live, you know, etc., clothing, costuming. Everything's important. And Cradle have always been a very visual, very cinematic band. We've always worked with very good photographers, Nigel Wingrove, Simon Marsden, Chris Bell, etc., over the years, and great artists as well. So yeah, I just think it's, you know, being a very cinematic band, be very much into cinema in general as well as literature. Anything that needs to paint a picture, I think, being very artistic and probably autistic, it's just always put it a bit on a pedestal when it comes to Cradle of Filth. I think it's as important as everything else, you know? I don't think it's more important than the music, it isn't. But I think it's very good to highlight and exemplify and compliment the musical output.
All right. For the end, Danny, a few words to your Polish fans.
Well, thank you all very much for being continued fans of Cradle of Filth. Thank you very much for attending these 3 concerts in Gdansk, Krakow, and
Warsaw.
Pardon? Warsaw, of course.
Warsaw,
it is. Little village called Warsaw. Yeah, very much looking forward to it. Always have a great time. Obviously not drinking alcohol now, so I'll be able to remember a lot of the fun times I have with our fans. It's going to be a great experience. Tickets are selling out very quickly, so if you haven't bought them, then now's the time to do so. As we're literally, the first show is pretty much about a month away, as Gdansk is obviously the first show of the entire tour.
Yeah.
So very much looking forward to seeing each and every one of you. And I hope you enjoy the other bands as much as we do having them on the tour.
Thank you so much, Danny, for this amazing conversation. Always a pleasure. Have a good day and all the best for you. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thank you very much. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.